Have you noticed? There's a quiet hum of uncertainty that seems to follow an entire generation. So many young people today, perhaps even you, feel lost. It's not a dramatic, cinematic kind of lost, but a subtle, persistent feeling of being adrift in a vast, foggy ocean with no land in sight. It's the feeling you get on a Sunday evening when the noise of the weekend fades and you're left alone with the deafening silence of your own thoughts, wondering, what am I even doing? They don't know what to do with their life. And this isn't a simple lack of ambition. In fact, it's often the opposite. It's an overwhelming surplus of options, a paralyzing awareness of infinite paths, each demanding a different version of you. The questions echo in their minds, a relentless loop of self-doubt. Should I study more? Should I go for that master's degree? Take on tens of thousands in debt for a piece of paper that might not even guarantee a job? Or is that just delaying the inevitable? Should I take a job? Any job? The stable 9-to-5 corporate job that my parents would be proud of? The one that promises security but might slowly drain my soul? Or should I hold out for something more? Should I start a business? Embrace the grind, the hustle culture, the 80-hour weeks fueled by passion and caffeine with a 90% chance of failure? Or should I follow my passion? Become a musician, a writer, a painter, and risk a life of financial instability for the chance to do what I love? Each question isn't just a question, it's a doorway to an entirely different life. And closing one door feels like giving up on a potential version of yourself. It feels like standing at a giant crossroads with not just 100, but 1,000 different roads, all branching out into a thick, impenetrable fog. You can't see more than a few feet down any given path. Some roads are paved with the promise of wealth, others with the allure of creative fulfillment. Some are well-trodden highways, recommended by everyone you know, while others are barely their dirt tracks leading into the unknown. And you're standing there, frozen, because the pressure to choose the one, is immense. The fear of taking a wrong turn, of wasting your time, of ending up somewhere you never wanted to be is paralyzing. And here's the truth, a truth you need to hear and to internalize. This confusion is not your fault. Let me repeat that. This is not a personal failure. You are not broken or lazy or indecisive. You are a perfectly rational person responding to a world that has become fundamentally more complex and uncertain than ever before. The blueprint that guided previous generations, it's been torn to shreds. The world they prepared you for is not the world you now inhabit. First, let's talk about the economic landscape. The concept of a job for life is a relic of a bygone era. Your parents or grandparents might have joined a company and stayed there for 40 years, retiring with a pension and a gold watch. For Gen Z, that sounds like a fairy tale. We now live in a gig economy, a world of short-term contracts, freelance projects, and side hustles. Stability is no longer a guarantee, it's a luxury. The pressure isn't just to find a job, but to constantly reskill, to be adaptable, to build a personal brand, to essentially become a business of one. This constant precariousness creates a baseline of anxiety that makes long-term planning feel like an act of pure fantasy. How can you plan for a future 10 years from now when you're not sure what your income will be in 10 months? Then, there's the digital elephant in the room, the internet and social media. Previous generations had to compare themselves to their neighbors, their classmates, their cousins. Your world of comparison is infinite. You are scrolling through a meticulously curated highlight reel of 7 billion people. You see the friend who just launched a successful startup, the influencer traveling the world, the classmate who got into a top law school, the artist whose work went viral. Social media doesn't just present you with options, it presents you with perfected, filtered, and monetized versions of those options. It creates an illusion that everyone else has it figured out. Everyone else is confident, successful, and happy. This constant exposure to idealized lives creates a phenomenon psychologists call compare and despair. It magnifies your own insecurities and makes your own messy, nonlinear path feel like a catastrophic failure. The pressure isn't just to succeed, but to successful at all times, which is an exhausting and impossible standard. And what about the advice you receive? It often comes from a place of love, but it's filtered through a completely different life experience. Your parents might say, "Just get a good degree and you'll be set." They say this because for them, it was largely true. But they graduated into a world with a booming economy and affordable housing. They don't understand that a degree today can mean crippling debt and an entry-level job that barely pays rent. They might say, "Work hard and be loyal to your company." They don't see that loyalty in the modern corporate world is often a one-way street. This isn't their fault. They are giving you the best map they have. The problem is, the landscape has completely changed. The mountains have moved, the rivers have dried up, and their map is now dangerously obsolete. So you are left standing at that crossroads, holding an old map, looking at a landscape that doesn't match it, while a GPS in your hand shouts a million different, conflicting directions, all while showing you pictures of people who have supposedly already reached their perfect destinations. This isn't indecision. This is overload. It's a systemic breakdown of the traditional markers of progress. The very definition of a good life is up for debate. Is it financial wealth? Is it work-life balance? Is it making a social impact? Is it creative expression? Is it travel and experiences? The world tells you it should be all of them, all at once, and that is an impossible task. So if you feel lost, if you feel that knot of anxiety in your stomach when you think about the future, I want you to take a deep breath. Look around, even if only digitally. You will see that you are surrounded by millions of others who feel the exact same way. You're not alone in feeling this way. This feeling isn't a sign that you're failing. It's a sign that you're awake. It's a sign that you're grappling honestly with the complexities of the world you've inherited. The first step in finding your way is not to pick a road at random, but to accept that it's okay to be standing at the crossroads, to be confused, and to give yourself the grace to simply be. Your journey doesn't have to look like anyone else's, and it certainly doesn't have to follow an old, outdated map. The task of your generation is not to find a pre-made path, but to learn how to draw your own. And that journey, while daunting, begins with understanding that you are exactly where you need to be right now.